Good morning, crafty friends. Hello and happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tea Time with Taylor. If it's your first time watching, special welcome to you. And I'm Taylor. I'm the creative director and the owner here at Tailored Expressions, and I go live every Tuesday right at this time, 10 o'clock Central, and we talk about all of our new products, and we get lots of time to craft together. And today we have something extra exciting happening. So once I get through talking about our new products, I have a special guest that's here to join us today and super excited about what she has to share. So let me pop some of the comments up so I can say hi to some of you. As you're hopping on, make sure you say hello. I love to hear from all of you. Feel like I'm not alone here in my craft room, but having a conversation with you guys. So good morning. Barb's here this morning. Hello, Marianne and Sarah. Rachel's here. Rachel says, cute shirt. Thank you. I think we were talking this morning about how bows are kind of the new in thing. I feel like they just call to me from the shelves of whatever store I'm in, whether it's a notepad or a sweater. I'm really into bows lately. Oh, and I have some bow earrings. Actually, I forgot to wear them today. That would have been perfect. But good morning. Who else do we have here? Barbara, Beth is here, Betty, Gail, Sally. Lots of you joining in today to see what's new at Tailored Expressions. So if you've been following along with TE for long, then you probably know the last Tuesday of every month is our card making kit release, and that is not changing with the new year. We are still going to be following along with that throughout the year. The last Tuesday of every month will be a new card making kit, and we are super excited about this one. If you didn't get a chance to see our product reveal video on our fan page, then I think Charlie will get it linked up here, and that's going to talk you through all of the products. I show lots of inspiration and give you some different ideas, so that this morning we are just going to talk through the kit contents, and then you guys can watch those videos, take a look at the website, look at our newsletters to find out all of the other add-on products that you can use to kind of increase the versatility of your kit. And then we get more time to craft together and talk to our special guest. So let's go ahead. Looks like Farley got her big book bundle order in this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at the kit. Here it is. Our first kit of 2025 is called Treat Your Shelf. It is a book-themed card making kit. So for all of you book lovers, you guys know I personally love to read. And this kit has been a long time in the making. We have thought about books, talked about doing a book-themed kit for probably over 2 years, probably about 2 years ago. And now it's finally coming to life. And Heather Nichols is the one who brought this to life with her beautiful illustrations. I love the fun stacks of books, and it's a great price, $59 for all of the elements in the kit. And I'm going to show you how to make the card that's on your screen. That's what we're going to be making today. So let me pull up the card making kit so I can kind of walk you through. We do have some changes just in case you didn't get a chance to see our product reveal video. Then I want to make sure you at least get a picture of the kit and what's new in 2025. So maybe perhaps the first thing you'll notice is our kit packaging has changed a bit. We used to have the zipper pouch, the black zipper pouch, and we have switched to this clear folder with the Velcro tab. It is large enough to fit 8.5 by 11 inside. We still have our pouch sticker here on the front. So if you do want to keep all of your items together, you can still do that. Or if you want to take other things and maybe package your full cardstock sheets in here and keep them dust-free in your craft room, you can do those kind of things too. So that's the first kind of new thing with this year's kits. Next up, you'll notice this larger piece of paper here. This is the tailored tutorial. So all of our kits this year are going to come with a tutorial sheet that shows you how to make a specific project. So if I turn it over, you've got more instructions, step out photos on the back, and hopefully this is really useful for you. What we want you to do is when you get your kit, we want you to create right away. Not set it aside and forget about it, but instead take those instructions, take those pieces, and get to creating right when you get the kit. So hopefully this is in the inspiration and the instruction that you need in order to be able to do that. Also, let's say you do end up, it's a busy month, or you got sick, or something happened and you're not able to dig into your kit contents right away. Well, we are also including this insert. This will come in all of our kits. This gives you a QR code to find all of the inspiration from our design team in one place. So that is on Pinterest, but you can simply scan that code and you can find all of the inspiration together. So whether you start creating right when you get your kit, or 6 months later you open up your kit and you wonder, what should I make? Just go ahead and scan that code and you can find all of the inspiration. Currently, this only includes inspiration from our design team, but as we have customers who are sharing projects using this kit, we may be requesting your permission to add some of your projects to this link. So we would love for you to share as you are creating. Share in our fan page, Fans of Tailored Expressions, and we'll reach out if we would like to place your project in the gallery. So kind of fun. Let's see, I've got a couple questions. It looks like some of you have asked if the pouches are available to purchase separately. Currently, they are not, but we do have them on order in order to be able to do that in the future. So it looks like, yes, you got your question answered. Currently not able to purchase them separately, but hopefully in the future we will have those ready for you. Okay, let's talk about the kit contents, and then we're going to go through some of my favorite inspiration from the design team. So this kit is built around this stencil that Heather designed. It is a layering stencil, and that's how you achieve the stacks of books. You can see them kind of here in this mock-up. There's a shorter stack and a taller stack of books. And then there are things that you can put on top or next to your book stack. If you want a cat perched on top, there's a lamp, there is a coffee mug, and then a candle, which will help you create projects with the sentiment, treat your shelf. Kind of a fun way to do a birthday cake as a stack of books with a little candle on the top. Then, in order to put a sentiment on your book stacks, we have this clear stamp set. These are perfectly spaced out to fit on the spines of the books, of the blended books. So you've got no such thing as too many books. Treat your shelf, you're a classic, you are literally the best, and here's to your next chapter. So some fun occasions that you can use those sentiments for. And then we have dies to cut out the elements in the stencil set that you've blended. So these dies for the book stacks will add details. These etched details that you see add the kind of pages into your books and some details on the spines. And then we have the dies to cut out the cat, the lamp, the candle, and the little coffee mug. There are some additional dies in here that as we get creating today, I'm going to talk about. You'll notice there are 2 lamps and there are 2 candles. There is one that has a hole in the flame area and the light bulb area, and that's because we wanted you to be able to easily light up those elements. I think that gives you a little hint about who's here with me today if you haven't already seen on our social. We are super excited to be working with Pear Blossom Press and carrying their amazing lights. So we're going to hear from Amanda here in a little bit, but I will explain when and why you might want to use one die versus the other in that set. And then last in the kit, we have our insiders. You guys love the insiders, and we're continuing that with our kits throughout this year. So this one is the Insiders Treat Your Shelf and has 2 each of the 6 different sentiments for lots of different occasions. There's a couple birthday in there, just some good ones for your next chapter or bringing joy, excitement, and endless possibilities. So lots of sentiment options for that. All right, so that is your kit. As I mentioned before, we also have what we call the Big Book Bundle, And you can see all of that on the website. If you want the kit plus all the extras, you'll want to grab the big book bundle. And you can find more details on that either in our product reveal video, or you can check out the website, the newsletter, of course, the design team samples as well. So let's take a look at just a couple of samples. And this one is what we're going to be making on the live today, just a little bit later. So when you push this button, you can see the lights up the lamp. How cute is that? You got to turn your lamp on to read at night. And I am of this same mindset. Sleep is good, but books are often better. And I have been caught staying up way too late reading a good book and not going to sleep like I should. So let's take a look then at the bookmark that I made. I thought it would be really fun to take one of our huggers and kind of perch him on top of a stack of books. So I used the Fox hugger and created a little magnetic closure on the back so you can close that around your page. And just a really fun thing you can do. The bookmark die is part of the big book bundle or can be purchased separately along with all of these die cut books as well. Now let's take a look at Heather's projects. These were some of my favorites. I loved her color combination. You can find all of her details on her blog if you head over to that through our website or through our social, and you can get her color combo. She also made it a light up card by pushing that lamp down, a bookmark that coordinates with a cute little tassel on it that she made with embroidery floss. And I think that turned out super fun. Also wanted to point out the background stamp is one of our newer ones that just entered our collection. Goes great with the book theme as well. That one is the fine line script background. And then let's take a look at a couple from Lori. Actually, I think, yes, both of these are from Lori. Loved her bright book stacks, the fun alphabet in the background with the clouds. The sleep is good, books are better. The background here is called Up Against a Wall, and it features kind of a shelf that you could place your books on. It's also the one that I used in the tailored tutorial card. So push here, you've got a little candle, a very fun interactive element that is really simple. That is one of the biggest things I want to stress is I think I was always intimidated by light up cards until I tried these from Pear Blossom Press. So what do you guys think? Should we get our special guest on here? I am going to do some. All right, ready? You are now unmuted, and a special welcome to Amanda from Pear Blossom Press. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a great day so far.
Yes,
I'm excited to be here.
So excited you're here. And like I said right before you popped on, I was always very intimidated by light up cards because I think I had in my mind that you had to build them with special wires and special tape, and that is not the case with what you have. So just in case people aren't familiar with the Pear Blossom lights, why don't you talk about your company, kind of when you started, what made you want to do this, and how your lights are different.
Okay. Well, let's see. I think we introduced our first product in 2019. They're all basically just flat little flashlights. I'm a card maker at heart. I love so many different crafts, but I always come back to card making. And I wanted an easier way to make light up cards. And my husband's an electrical engineer, so he said, well, I can just, show you.
Yes.
I can wire something up for you, that kind of thing. And then, so the idea was kind of born from there, and it's just kind of taken off. We have 5 or 6 different kinds of lights now, and they're all really just flashlights. We try to keep it as simple as possible so that you can spend time on the fun part.
Yes, they are so simple, but they do some really cool things. I mean, you say they're just flashlights, but they, to me, are so much more. So you got to tell people about this one that you can blow out and the one that twinkles and all the things.
Yes. Let's see. Okay, so how about I start from like easiest to more maybe more complicated, but it's less complicated for you, just more complicated for us to design.
Yes.
All right. The one light, that's the one you'll be showing today. I'll hold it up here. It's just a little skinny guy, and when you press the button, the light comes on. But we made it it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. So you can just sandwich it right between the layers of your card. The easy light is very similar, except instead of having one light, you have 3, and they're on wires. So you can kind of spread them out wherever you want them to go. I put them in box cards. So if you want them to come up the different panels or different planes of a box card, you can do that. And they're a lot of fun. And the twinkle light is just like that, except the 3 lights, instead of staying on when you push the button, they all twinkle.
I love that one.
The halo, yeah, the halo light is a ring of light. It's about 2 inches, and all of the lights point in so that you can spotlight sentiments and that sort of thing. And then our newest one is the candle light. And the candle light is, again, it's just another little flashlight. But when you push the button, oh, there we go. Oh, I've got a bad one here. I grabbed this from my husband's desk, which is the rework pile. I grabbed the wrong side. Uh-oh, let's see.
That happens.
Yeah, okay. I have another one here. But when you push the button, the light comes on. And no, this one's a bad one too. And then you blow it out.
I have one here.
I have one that I can show you in the card that actually works, but I don't know why I grabbed that one. I didn't bring any out here, and my craft room's in the garage. Wrong pile. Always something, right?
No worries.
But the candlelight, yeah, we test yours before they go out. And if they don't pass, they go to my husband's desk, and then he resolders them. But you press the button, it'll stay on for about a minute or two, and then unless you blow it out. But you do have that timeout, so that just in case if it gets pushed accidentally or something like that, it won't kill the battery. Or if you wanted it to just stay on for a while rather than go out right away, you could do it that way too.
That is so fun. And that's actually, so right now at Tailored Expressions, we're carrying the one light and the candle light, since they go best with this particular kit. But we will be bringing in the other lights. Those of you that were at Stamp Joy when Amanda came and presented this fall, we had the twinkle lights and the
easy lights.
The easy lights and the twinkle lights and all the things. So we're busy developing even more products that you can light up. But for now, you can get those 2 products on our website when you buy your kit. And Amanda, why don't you show us some of your samples? Because I think that's where it really shines.
Oh, I hit the wrong button there.
There we go.
There we go. All right, I'll show you this one first because this one really works. So this is the candle light where you press the button and then blow it out.
Yes.
And again, it's just a little flashlight hidden underneath the layers. This one is a one light. This little guy here, it's just hidden underneath the layers. If you had X-ray vision, you would see that under there. I changed it up a little bit here for a little more masculine look, but it's the same thing. And mini slimlines are my favorite. I know not everybody loves them, but that's my favorite size. But I did some A2s also. And then this one doesn't light up, but with the books, how could you not make a bookmark, right? So I made a little magnetic bookmark too.
That is so cute.
Because I think this kit is so cute.
How did you attach your bookmark at the top? What is that? Just clear?
That's a piece of acetate that runs the whole length. And then there's magnets in here so that it grabs.
That is so
And then to make sure that it matched, I flipped my stencil over to the back side. And then the trick for that one was on the front side, to line up the orientation dots so that you could die cut it. And it works just fine.
Well, that's clever. So you just
So
flip
it's
the
mirrored. You
stencil
see
over to mirror it.
that?
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
that.
And then, yeah. So
Well, we
that was a
do
lot
have
of fun.
some.
This kit is such a delightful kit. I had a lot of fun playing with it.
Good. I have too.
Oh, yeah.
For all different occasions. Um, okay. Do you want to come back to us? Okay, there you are.
Sure.
And I have a few questions for you. So let me see if I can get us together. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, we're just going to leave you up there all by your lonesome.
Okay.
So someone had asked, is the battery replaceable and what size is the battery?
All of our lights use the same size battery. It's a CR 2016. And I think, yeah. So for this one, I'll hold it up here. What I did was I cut a little trap door in the back of my card here, and that way I could slide the battery in and out. Do you see
That's
that?
a great idea.
And yes, you can. Yeah, so it just allows you can just partially die cut any rectangle or use your craft knife to cut it out. It'll just give you that little flip,
Yeah.
So you can get in there and access the battery.
So does the battery have a working life? And is it dependent on just the lapse of time or the number of times you push the button or a little of both?
Well, every time you use it, you drain a little bit more power. You should get about 10 to 14 hours of continuous use, and nobody holds it on for that long.
Right.
You hold it for a
That's
couple
a
seconds
lot.
at a time. So, yeah. I have cards from 2019 when we made the first ones that still work. So,
Yes.
And I haven't changed the batteries on those. I didn't think about trapdoors till later.
Right. Well, it is kind of hard to imagine, I get really excited about them, so I do push the button a lot, just because it excites
Yes.
me to like, oh look, it still lights up. It's almost like I have to check on it every day, but 10 to 14 hours is a long time. So even with daily button pushing, I think you're still gonna last quite a while. So I love that.
Yes. Yep.
Let me see. Anybody have any other questions for Amanda before she heads out and we start crafting? Now is your chance to ask those. And Amanda, if there's anything else you want to share about yourself or Pear Blossom or anything that that I haven't asked you yet, feel free.
The camera comes on and my mind just blanks out.
It has that effect.
I don't know. I just am having a ton of fun doing this. It's, one of those things where it's always been my hobby to craft and to make card making especially has always been my favorite. And so it's really fun to be able to turn this into my job.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Marsha's got a great question, and she says, when mailing cards with the lights, how do you keep it from lighting up in the mail?
So what I normally do is if you do cut a trap door, then I take a little tab, like a half-inch tab of cardstock, and I slip it between the battery and let it stick out, and then I just write pull on the tab so the person will know. Even if you don't cut the trap door, you can still do that. Just have the tab extend out to the front, and then make sure that your foam tape doesn't lock it in place. So just leave the release paper there if you have any foam tape that goes over it, because if you lock it in place, then you can't pull it out. But yeah, just a little piece of cardstock underneath the battery will keep it from dying in the mail.
That's a great tip. And then let's see, somebody else, which I can attest to this or answer this as well, but they asked, how bright is the light? Like blindingly bright. It is so bright. I think when we're, a lot of times we diffuse it with vellum, which is what I'll be doing on the live today, because it is so bright. If you're looking right at it, you will see spots. So, And I think that's great. So if you
Easy,
want to put it in the dark or something, it's going to show up.
the easy lights and the twinkle lights, those each have 3 lights, and they're a slightly different type of LED. So they're not quite as blinding, but they still have plenty of shine, don't worry. I think they're just a little more toned down. The one light and the candlelight, I think, are our brightest. The halo is really bright too, but they all point in toward each other, not up at your eyeballs. So
okay. Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's see. I think I gathered all the questions. We had another question about the multi-lights, which we will be carrying. I know Amanda has them in her store as well if you're anxious to get them, but we'll be bringing those in as we develop new products to go with them. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to chat with you. Great to see your face again after seeing you at Stamp Joy last year. So take care. Thank you for the amazing products and for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right.
I can't wait to see what you make now.
Okay. Let's get crafty.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hello, everyone. Are we ready to get crafty? Wasn't that fun? I love chatting with other business owners and hearing their story and getting crafty with them. So anyway, very fun to have Amanda here today. And also, I didn't say this while she was live, but she lives out in California and had to get up super early to be here with us. So special thanks for that. Okay, let's go ahead and we are going to get crafty. As I mentioned, this is the project that we're making today. And I had a couple other projects from Amanda that I just wanted to show you. She came, as I mentioned, to our Stamp Joy in-person event this past fall. And she had some cards that she had made from that event. So this one is not particularly seasonal at the moment, but it is just too cute. I had to show it to you guys. Amanda made this one with our cute little Gus, and you just press on his little holiday Santa knapsack. And then look at that. He's got a light up red nose. So, so cute. Easy to do with the one light. And then this is another one of those push and blow out. So you can push here and you see the 2 candles light up and stay on. And then you blow right here where it says blow. So I'm going to get my face down there. It's kind of hard to do it while I'm also on camera. There. It worked that time. But yes, super fun to be able to push and then blow that out. And that is one that your recipients are going to want to do over and over and over. So there's a couple more samples using the lights, but let's take a look at this card that we're going to make together. So I'm going to start with the background portion here because we are going to splatter that. I want to set it aside and make sure it has time to dry. So I have a piece. I'm starting with a piece of Cookie Monster cardstock, and that just gives me the base for my blend. And then we're going to take some darker ink and blend over the top of that. I am going to be using Sour Gummy in from the edges of this to create that kind of nighttime sky look. So we'll just take that piece of cardstock, and this cardstock is sized just to fit behind that arch that I have cut in the front. So we'll go ahead and start adding to this with that darker color. I do love to start with colored cardstock because it just makes it so much easier. You don't have to build up quite as much color as you do when you're starting with white cardstock. So we'll keep going all the way around here. So do we have a lot of readers in the crowd out there today? Do you guys like to read as much as I do? Anybody part of a book club? I personally have not found a lot of time to join a book club. I know you know, in a book club, you all read the book together, and sometimes I just don't have a lot of time in a particular month to read. So maybe someday a book club will be a fun thing, but I've heard a lot of people like, I'm buying these things so I can make bookmarks for my book club friends, which I think is fun. Cataloging the books that you are reading. I love to do that as well. I'm going to take a little bit of rock candy and very lightly apply that. I don't want it to be any darker than what the sour gummy is. I'm going to come just inside of the sour gummy that I applied and add a little bit. I'm leaving the center kind of open so that it has a little bit more of a glow in the middle. I have my piece already cut with the arch in it. So if I want to just test this out and see if I got it dark enough, I might want to add just a little more depth to that with the sour gummy. But I had that piece already cut so I could kind of use it as a template. So add a little bit more of that deep dark color here. Okay. Oh, it looks like we have some audiobook listeners as well. I have gotten into that lately too. I've been doing the Libby app. So I kind of have to wait for when the book is available, but I love that option too. All right. And if you're a reader, I know some of you are starting to say what genre you like to read. What do you guys like? I think we all know, if you've heard me talk about books before, I am a murder mystery, suspense, thriller type of a book reader. So that's my jam. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of this. Looks like we need to get maybe a new jar of our splatter medium here because it is getting a little bit crusty. We'll call it crusty in the bottom, but it still works. So you can still grab it out of the jar and dilute it with a little bit of water. Well, that's a good idea. Audiobooks while you craft, said one of you. And I usually do Dateline while I craft, which is kind of the same thing. I listen to it. I don't usually watch the whole episode, but I listen to it while I craft. So I could probably do audiobooks too. All right, so there's that. And let's go ahead and tap our paintbrush to add a little bit of splatter to that background. That's just going to look kind of like a nighttime sky with a little bit of starriness in it. And then we'll go ahead and set that aside to dry while we move on to our other blending. I need to blend the books and the lamp. So there's what my splattered background piece looks like. Looks like we've got romance, fantasy, mysteries, and true crime. Love that. All right, so let me set this aside before I drag my hand through it. And I'm going to clean off my table here from that sour gummy ink. Let me show you what I have here. I have a package of the One Lights. This is what we're going to be using today. And they come in, so it's called a One Light. They come in a 2-pack. So you get 2 of them per package. The cost is $9 or $8.99 per package. And you get 2 of the lights in there. So you'll have these 2 batteries. I've already used one of them. So I have one in my package. But you'll get 2 of these little batteries, and then the 2 little light up pieces come separately. So you will need to insert the battery before your light will work, just so you don't pull this out and push the button and think that it's broken. It does need the battery inserted in it. There's a little plus on the battery and a plus on your on this metal element here, so you know to put the plus end in with the plus side here. So we'll do that in a little bit, but I wanted to show you how that goes together and what the package looks like. The candle light, which I don't actually have one in this package. There is one per package. Susan will be creating a project on Thursday using the candle light that is the light up and blow out option, but that comes with just 1 in each pack. So 2 lights in the one light and 1 light in the candle light. Makes great, I love saying that, fast as I can. Okay, so let me grab my cardstock for the stencil. I have a 6x6 piece of sugar cube cardstock. I'm gonna put that down on the placemat here, and we're gonna start with layer 1 of the stencil. Layer 1 is going to be rock candy. And I am only going to blend just to kind of move things along a little bit faster. I'm only going to blend the books down here, and I'll show you what we're going to do with the lamp a little bit different. I decided to use the foilet for the lamp because I wanted some bright details in there. So we'll go ahead. My color combo is a little bit unique today. Sour gummy rock candy, rose water, and guava. I also threw a little bit of pumpkin in this color combo when I made the bookmark. So that's another color that goes well with these. I am making sure that I'm blending the alignment guides as I add the color. Second layer of the stencil is going to be rose water. And we'll just line that up. All right, so far this year I've read 2 books. Well, I can't get ahead of myself. I've read 1.5 books. I've gotten on this newer series from David Baldacci, if anybody reads his books. I think the book I'm reading now is called The Edge. I usually do my reading at night. And then sometimes I try to read while I'm doing my hair in the morning. I know that sounds really silly, but I've mentioned before that fixing my hair is like one of the worst tasks. It's just one of those things I don't want to do, but it's not really an option a lot of times. So mostly curling my hair, and yeah, so it kind of makes the time pass while I'm curling my hair. If I just have my book going there, and I can do both. That's a great question. Jan asked, which stamp set has the push for turning the light on? So we do have a stamp set in our collection called I'm Interactive, and that's what I'm going to use today. So this works for lots of different interactive cards. There is a push in here, right here. There's also a pull, shake, tear, slide, look inside, glow in the dark, all kinds of sentiments in there. The one thing that is not in there is the word blow. So when Susan makes her card on Thursday with you, she will be just writing the word blow on her project. But we are working on another set that will have the word blow and just a little bit different font options. So for now, the I'm Interactive clear set is the one that we have. And it does have all of your push options in there. Okay, so that was a little bit of guava to highlight our rose water layer. You can see those books are starting to come together. Kathy asked if there's a color named Gumdrop. I think Kathy wants me to foreshadow an upcoming release. There is a color named Gumdrop. We had released that as part of our Advent calendar. So that's probably where you had heard of it, but it is our intention to bring it out into the full collection. So there's a little bit of an early hint at something that is coming very soon. I gotta take a drink quick. Still haven't quite gotten past this cough yet. Okay, so next up we have Sour Gummy. That's the book color we're gonna do next. And then one more stencil layer with guava and we'll have our books finished. For those of you who like foiling, we do have a foilet pack with this release. You'll get to see that here in just a second because I did want my lamp to be foiled. So we're going to blend the lamp on a separate piece than what we did these books here. Looks like we have huge literary fans in our house, mostly the very hungry caterpillar, Hop on Pop. I love it, Charlie. Those are Rhett's favorites. Yes, that stage of life where you're reading kids' storybooks. I do miss those times. I don't know, Charlie, if you guys have read the No David books, but those are still some of Henry's favorites. No David. So we like to turn it into No Henry, and then it's very applicable to him because it seems like we're always saying No Henry. All right. Oh, that's a good idea. Candy says a small stamp that says Color Me would be another good addition when we bring out the set that has the other blow option in it. I like that. I like to give little colorable elements on cards as well. Okay, so let's set that aside for now. And I'm going to grab this piece. So I mentioned we have foilets that are pre-printed with toner and designed to line up with the same stencils that we just used. I already foiled this ahead of the live because I knew I had a lot of steps to cover today. So I'm just going to peel back that foil and we're going to go ahead and blend over the lamp. You can see how fun it is to have those lamp details in there with the gold foil. So let's grab my stencils back. My lamp is going to be Rock Candy. It's the only color that we need to use with this particular one, except for I've lost my stencil. Nope, here it is. Found it. Okay, so I'm going to line up those alignment squares that are on the foilet and then tack this down again with the teal tape. And I used guava down in this section on this stencil, but that's okay. I can still use I said rock candy, didn't I? I can still use the rock candy on the lamp just by staying up in that area up here. Okay. let's take this off. Now we're going to go ahead and die cut our elements. So I need to die cut the lamp and the books. And this is the part where I told you I was going to kind of explain a little bit further why you have 2 lamp dies and 2 candle dies. Plus you have these really teeny tiny pieces. One of them matches the inner flame and one of them matches the inner light bulb. So if you plan to make a light up card, you'll want to use the die that has the inner cut. So that would be the flame inner cut and the light bulb inner cut. And you'll just use that one. If you don't want to light up your card, no worries. You can use the plain die that does not have the inner cut, and then you won't need to use these either. So since we're going to create a light up card, I am going to use that die that has the inner cut. And we did it that way because it's a lot easier to line up the entire die around the outside to make sure that that inner light bulb cut is going to fall in exactly the right spot. And then we are going to use the shorter stack of books. So I'm going to cut that off. Okay, let me bring in my die cut machine here. So the dies for the books, I mentioned this before, but they have the etch markings so that you're going to get some of those details on the spine and in the pages of your book. Because there are these inner cut details, we had to include alignment squares since you can't open up the middle of the die and see through it. So you're going to want to use those alignment squares to line up the book die, just making sure there's equal white space around each of the squares. Tack that in place. And then this one, the lamp, just like you would cut out any other die cut, trusting that that inner cut is going to fall right where you need it to. All right, let me hold this up so you can get a better look at those etched in details in the pages of the book and the spines. It's kind of hard to capture on camera, but in real life, it really adds a lot to the books in order to have those little details. And then we have our lamp. You can see I have that piece here that's cut out of the center of the lamp. Now, before I put my die cut machine away, just a second. Okay, I am going to grab this piece. So I wanted to do a few little stars that are going to match the same foil that we used on the lamp. So we have this peel and stick toner foil paper, and all I did was cut a little square of this and put a piece of foil over the top. I sent it through my ink machine, and the foil is going to stick to that black toner piece. So this is going to allow me to have self-adhesive on the back, so it's already has adhesive on the back, and I can die cut it from whatever little elements I want. I'm using the Little Bit Star die, and then we'll have some stars to place on our project at the end. Okay, still not quite ready to put the die cut machine away. I've got some of them stuck in there, but I'm just gonna set this aside until we're ready for it. And we've got one more thing to die cut. So I am going to grab my arched piece that is already cut with our arched stacklets, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this around the outside here. Now we're getting to how this light up element is going to work. And I will say, hopefully Amanda would agree with me, but I will say there are multiple ways you can build these lights. So I think as you get to using them, you'll probably find the best way that it works for you to kind of arrange or engineer this. But I'm going to show you how it works best for me. Okay, so we've got that piece in there. Now I want to take my little bookshelf piece. I have some removable adhesive here. So sometimes it helps to just tack things in place with removable adhesive about where you anticipate they will land. And in this case, I want to do the same with my lamp. Place that on top of the books here with removable adhesive. So then if I take my light, here's what my light looks like. Let's go ahead and get our battery in there. I always like to just make sure I have saved enough space for the light to fit. So obviously you don't want your light to kind of hang over the edge of your card. So if this is my light up element here, I have plenty of directions I can go. I can place the light like this. I could place it like this, place it over here and put my push here. So just kind of starting to think about that before assembling or finishing your card would be a good idea. So I know my light is going to fit in multiple different spots. So with this here, I am now going to take this tiny little inner cut that coordinates with the lamp. Since we already have our inner cut there, but we want to cut through the back layer as well, we have this little die that just slips right into place here. And I am going to grab a little bit of adhesive, hold that down as we send it through. I'm going to just leave that whole lamp in place there. It's not permanently adhered right now. It is just temporarily adhered. And we run that die cut through. And then when we pull this off, we're going to have a hole right where we need it to be. So you see that hole that I created back there? Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. We're getting a little bit farther down the road. Now, here's my light, my lamp. Let's go ahead and adhere this on the project. I am done with my die cut machine, so we can take that out of the way. And we'll go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive, foam adhesive on the back of these books. I feel like I have lost everything on my desk. You should see it. It's a disaster. All right. Peel that off. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and adhere this permanently. This one I am not popping up. I am just tacking it down, lining up that hole that we made in our background with the hole in the lamp. Just like that. And then we can place the books on top. There we go. Now we can go ahead and place the light behind this opening. As I was talking with Amanda earlier, I mentioned that I often use a little bit of vellum to diffuse the light behind here. There are other ways you can do that. You don't necessarily need to have the light showing directly through the opening. Let me see, where is that light? There it is. Okay, that's really bright. I got to try not to look down. I know you guys aren't in person, but when you look right at these lights, they are bright. Another way to diffuse the light would be to move it slightly away from the opening, and then it's going to shine not quite exactly straight through the opening. Or you can also use a little bit of vellum. So I'm going to cut just a little square of vellum, and we'll place that around this hole, just like that. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and figure out on our card base where we're going to adhere our little light. On my original card, I arranged it up this direction with my push button over here. So I can kind of do that same thing again if I want to make my push right about here. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape, a little bit of, this is just I'm going to de-tack it just a little bit. And I'm going to put it on the battery side of the light. And this is going to allow me to figure out where I want my light. So I can turn it over. I can place that light down. Make sure that it's right in the opening, that the push button is where I want it. And then if we put some now permanent adhesive on the back of here, I use liquid glue on the back of here, but I think it would even work with something like this or with sticky tape. But I'm going to grab my liquid glue and then go like this. Turn this over. Uh-oh, except it fell off. Apparently I de-tacked my tackiness a little too much. So hold please. This is where Amanda might have a better option than what I'm doing. But let me get my light back there one more time. Okay. Now, if we place this down on our card base, you can see it's working. I've de-tacked my tape that's on the front, so the little battery or light should stay right where it belongs, right there. And then we know when we put this over the top, it's going to shine perfectly in that open space. Okay, now because this, Amanda mentioned, I can take this tape off now. I don't need that part anymore. But Amanda had mentioned it is about 1/8 of an inch thick. So you do want to build a little bit of a well around your card base so that it pops up enough to kind of hide that mechanism behind. Before we adhere it and stamp it, I want to make sure that I stamp that little push stamp right where we need it. So I'm going to grab my VersaFine Clair ink. I have my acrylic block. And then I'll take the push stamp here. And this is another little workaround that I do. And I think this is how Amanda taught it at Stamp Joy as well. So let me grab a pencil really quick. So once you have your light positioned in the back and you know where that's going to land, you can feel for the little button that turns it on. And then I put just a little pencil mark, just enough for me to see where that is at. And then if you prefer to use your MISTI, you could do that. But I'm just going to go ahead and on that pencil mark, I'm going to stamp the push. I'm going to let that dry before I actually test it out. So let's go ahead and build our kind of wall of adhesive to pop that up and make it supported in the middle there. I'm going to use our 1/8 inch sticky strips, these foam sticky strips, to build around the outside. There's not a lot of room at the top here, so I think I'm going to go with Can I get 2 strips in there without? I think I can. So I'm going to put 2 strips all the way at the top here. You obviously don't want to interfere with your mechanism, so 2 strips works great for that. And then we'll go ahead and go down the side with 2 strips. I don't like to waste any adhesive, so I'm holding these other little bits that we can put on the background somewhere. Let's go over here. Oops. Kind of just adding to the stability of that background, just like you would with a shaker card, so that it doesn't sag in the middle. And it's got nice sturdiness to it. All right, so then when we place that down on our card base, our push should be right there where we're pushing. Perfect. And you can go ahead and adhere that. See how easy this is? Does everybody agree that this is just super simple? You don't have to be, see, the engineer figured it out for us, so we don't have to be the engineer. We just get to have the fun. So I love that. And I can't wait to see all the other things that you guys come up with to light. I know I saw on our fan page recently that someone lit up the lava lamp. That was a great idea. Love that. Okay. Still pushing right there. There we go. I have my sentiment already stamped and embossed. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. And then we get to put in a couple of little stars that we cut out. So as I mentioned, I used the peel and stick toner pieces. So these already have adhesive. They are self-adhesive on the back. And you will have to peel the self-adhesive off the back. Some of these already came off. I like some of the tinier ones. All right. Did you guys hang in there today? Can't wait to get my hands on this kit and the lights. Glad you're excited, Gail. Okay. There it is. Super easy, right? Push your little light on. So fun. All right, you guys, let me come back and say farewell. We had a fun, crafty time together. I'm glad we had that extra time today and some extra time to talk with Amanda too. So thanks for joining us today, and special thanks again to Amanda from Pear Blossom Press. I hope you guys love this kit as much as I have enjoyed it, and keep those reading goals going throughout the year. You guys will have to check in with me, hold me accountable, because I am having fun so far this year diving into the books. So, all right, everybody, have a great afternoon, and tune in on Thursday, same time, 10 a.m. Central, and Susan will have another fun project for you, lighting up something a little bit different